And it looks like we might just be live, Chris.
We are
live.
Nice.
For the Grind Mastermind episode 15.
Hello everyone. Hello Josh. What's popping?
Hello. September the 1st, as you said in your update email today. Where the heck did the summer go? As we start September, summer flew by, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but we're back. Episode 15. Lots to dive into this week. So maybe what we should do is just jump the heck in. As you know, Chris and I go live every 2 weeks. We talk about what the heck has happened in our business, what we're focused on, what we're learning, tools we're using, books we're reading, all that fun stuff. I finally finished the book I was reading, so excited to talk about that. Anyways, why don't we jump in?
Yeah, I can go first.
Sure. For Chris's goals, I have podcast episode 3, promote productized services, post new YouTube video, 1 in-person meetup. How'd it go?
Yeah, so podcast number 3 didn't go out, and that's because it's still a passion project, so I had to deprioritize it. There was some client work that I needed to do, and also I gave priority to actually work in a bit of on the lead generation aspect, which we'll talk about later, as you know. And so yeah, I focused on that. I realized that I wasn't able to find that much time to read the book that I'm actually reading for the episode, just because I basically crammed a lot of time with other stuff that had priority. So, but in a way, I'm not super worried about that. I posted 2 episodes 1 week back to back. So,
and those are long episodes, right? Like it's
like
it's not a 15-minute episode.
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to finish this book next week. So by our next call, the episode should be live.
Well, would it be better? Would it be better to aim for like 2 per month, as a general?
Yeah, the initial goal was actually 1 per month. So I've actually been better than I expected. Yeah, because basically the podcast was supposed to be the 4th video that I post on YouTube, that I also post as a podcast, right? So 4 videos per month on YouTube. One of those is the podcast, so basically 1 podcast a month. So I'm still on track, I think, so that's good, because in August I posted 2, so yeah. Still pretty happy about that. Productized services, I didn't actually promote those, but I worked on the strategy, because I realized, okay, I have the pages, I kind of have my offers, right? But how do I get people to look at those pages? And that's a bigger area that I'm working on, that maybe it's better if we go first through our goals and then we discuss about that. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a big topic too, right? I mean, anybody can throw up a whatever and create products, right? But it's really all about the traffic and the sales. So,
which is something that I admit I'm not great at. I don't have a lot of experience. I tried Facebook ads in the past couple of months, but it wasn't successful at all. I had some learnings, but I don't consider myself good at lead generation, so that's one area that I want to improve at. So that's where the learning comes in, that we'll talk about in a bit. The other 2 things, so YouTube video, my editor had a couple of issues with the video that was supposed to go out, which was my weekly review walkthrough. So that video didn't come out, but I'm going to post today another video, kind of like an emergency video that I recorded, because so basically a reader, when people sign up to my newsletter, I gave them an ebook, right? And in the ebook, there are a couple of exercises that people can apply, and they can reach out to me for feedback. So one of the readers reached out.
Oh, nice.
They basically shared a wireframe with comments and copy that they written for a client, and asked me to kind of review it. So what I did was I had the idea of recording like a quick 15-20 minute video, sent it to the subscriber, and then I asked them, can I post this on YouTube so everybody can see it? And then I recorded it, I published it on YouTube, and so I basically used today as an opportunity to publish something this week, even if I didn't have the other video. So that's going to be going live later today in like 3-4 hours. So that's been good.
Nice.
Lastly, the
in-person
meetup. So I actually booked. There's a festival in London in 2 weeks, which is a copywriting festival. So looks like a ton of fun, and also it's not conversion copy specific. It's more direct response, but there's a lot of popular copywriters, established copywriters that I know by name. So it's going to be good. There's gonna be talks, even just fun stuff, chats, games. So it's going to be a full day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I booked that, so it's going to be a good chance for me as well to push myself to get out there a bit more in person, connecting with people. I don't do that a lot, so it's gonna be good.
Cool. Yeah, I find especially when you work by yourself and or work from home, like getting out to one of those events, even every like 2-3 months, can be like a nice breath of fresh air, you know? Just get yourself out there, meet some random new people. It's a good like almost perspective reset, I find. So, cool. All right. Anything else before we flip over? Maybe, as you said, we'll keep the updates a little bit shorter, and then we have more stuff to talk about in terms of lead generation, tools.
Yeah, as far as my goals, I'll probably wait till we talk about the lead generation aspect so that I can set some goals related to that.
Sounds good. I'll jump in. Pretty good 2 weeks. I would say the first week was a little quieter, just because like a lot of people on vacation and stuff. But the last week started picking up, I think, now that we're closer to September. So that's good. 100 plus cold calls per week. I was able to do that, again, like very staggered, right? So like some days I did none, but like yesterday I had a nice 2-hour block, so I was able to like smash out a whole bunch. Earlier in the week I had a couple days. I think my Monday was like really busy, couldn't do any, but then like Tuesday, Wednesday, part of Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, I had more than enough time to make it up. So that was good. One additional letter growth promo and outreach. I was able to get that done too. I just jumped back in the Discord, reached out to a few more people, so now I got a couple more lined up. It's a pretty good community. I find it can be like hit or miss when you're doing outreach through email, especially. I guess part of it could be just going to spam.
I actually forgot that I sent out another 10-15 email to promotions. Letter growth. I got 3 so far.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I'll get a couple more. But yeah, it's gonna be good.
I saw a cool strategy on TikTok like yesterday, which was this guy basically does like motivational videos, right? Like accounts, right? He'll have like a YouTube Shorts and a TikTok account. And it's just, the classic like motivational videos. You have a quote with some whatever dark scenes in the background, whatever. And then his strategy to monetize is to use the Beehive referral network, right? Where basically you like push them to join an email list, and it refers like 2 or 3 other email lists, and they give you like $1 or $2 if they actually sign up. I thought that was pretty clever, because now one interesting quote-unquote business model is just to like grow a social media account really big and make affiliate marketing, right? Revenue. And doing it that way I found is kind of clever because newsletters are so popular. Anyway, complete tangent. So that went well. Continue fine-tuning snippet production and posting. So I did that too. And this might kind of segue into part of what I wanted to talk about too, which is being split in two right now, right? And Chris, I know you've had this experience before where, as most of you know, my main focus is in the immigration space, right? I have an immigration tech company called Visto. I'm also just like basically an advisor of a small immigration firm because I still get a lot of leads. That's where I spend 99.9% of my time, right? And so even with this content creation, I feel like I'm being split because I'm doing content for immigration and now content for business, blah, blah, blah. So we'll talk about maybe that in just a minute. But I have gotten into a good routine for snippet creation in two ways. So what I'm doing for all my immigration content is two things. Number one, I go live every 2 weeks on LinkedIn, throw that video up on YouTube, take the video, cut it up into pieces. I've been using a tool called Vidyo, which I mentioned in the last episode, and I'll include it in the show notes, Vidyo.ai. I've talked about this before. My favorite two, I think the top two are Vidyo and Opus Pro, but I just like the user experience of Vidyo a little bit better. I might try Opus Pro again because I tried it like months ago and just kind of compare and see what the quality is like. But it essentially makes it really easy to create or pick like 5, 10, 15 snippets from any longer form video. And then I hired my fiance to post them for me, like do the last touch-ups and downloading and posting. So hot tip, get a significant other and have them help you do stuff that you don't like doing. Yeah. But anyways, that's for another topic. So that's good. I think in general for me, it's just been torn a little bit in two directions, right, with the content. And I kind of just want to simplify, shave some of the fat, as they say. Oh, the other thing I've been doing for snippets is, so I do that, right, every 2 weeks, and that usually generates anywhere from like 8 to 15 snippets, and I just schedule them to have them posted every day. And then I've also started just recording 1 or 2 snippets and posting them myself from my desktop, which has really helped. I used to just record them on my phone and post on TikTok, but now I want to do TikTok and Shorts. And when you download off TikTok, they have the stupid watermark and all that BS. And then I tried using, I don't know if you've ever used the Clips app on your iPhone. I find it kind of sucks. I don't like how it does the recording and the different scenes. So I really didn't like it.
Maybe do you have an iPhone or
yeah.
What kind of phone do you have?
Yeah, iPhone.
Because there's a really cool app which is basically the same exact thing as the TikTok editor, but
really?
On your phone. Yeah, let me find.
And then you can save it without the watermark. I might have to look into that. In the meantime, what I've done, my kind of hacky way of doing it, because the other thing is it takes longer, I find, to upload on your phone too. So what I've been doing is I use OBS for things like streaming and even recording this podcast. So I'm using OBS to record TikTok videos on my computer, and then I just drag and drop it to TikTok and YouTube, and it's super fast. So you have to go in and play with the settings, right? Because on OBS, the standard is like long form video, but it takes like 30 seconds. You go into the settings, you can change it so it's narrow. I hit record, I talk for 58 seconds, I click end, and then I just drag and drop it. I put in a title. It's been super easy. So my Visto, TikTok, and YouTube have been doing pretty well. So I'm going to keep pumping out there. And again, it kind of goes back to what I'm saying, which is like, why not double down on one thing that's working instead of spreading yourself too thin in multiple different arenas? You know what I mean? So that's what I've been feeling.
I think like there's still a way, I think, that spreading yourself a bit wider can be helpful and valuable, but it needs to be like super zero effort. Like it needs to be stuff that you do cascading from the main thing that counts almost automatically, but if it's different activities that you do like deliberately and needs energy and time, and it's all like compartmentalized and separate, then it's probably not ideal.
Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of finding. So I think what else... Oh, wait, do we want to set the goals now? Or I'll set my goals now because I think yours are a little bit in line with what the topic we'll talk about next.
Yeah, I have a couple that I can set now as well, maybe one after.
I'm just going to I'm going to keep the 100 plus cold calls a week. That's going to be a staple. And you know what I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks? I'm just going to say, I've been thinking about this a lot. I need to kind of finalize a plan to narrow down, I guess I'll just call it business and content efforts. I really want to kind of triple down on just what I'm mostly focused on, where I make all my income, right? What's working, and kind of cut the rest. So I need to think about it, make a plan, narrow it down, and go from there. One thing I'm thinking of doing, which let me know what you think of this, is even just scraping or scrapping for now, or putting on pause, shall we say, the SG brand for now, and just whipping up joshaknow.com, which I already own, so nobody try to go steal it. Screw you guys. And just whipping it up and having like a 2-pager or a 3-page website that's just me, and I just send my one email a week. I just kind of maintain that email list, but all my focus is on Visto, immigration-related content, building that brand, and then I'll still promote, like, hey, if you just want to get my weekly email, sign up on joshaknow.com, and that's it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking of. I'm going to sleep on it. We got a long weekend up here in Canada land, so Labor Day for anybody who's celebrating that. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's my goal for the next 2 weeks, and yeah.
So I can set some goals, a bit more like content-related goals for myself, which basically just episode number 3 of the podcast, and then I basically have two YouTube videos. One is basically ready. I just sent the editor a couple of edits that he needs to make, like quick edits, so that's basically ready. And then there's another one which I already filmed. I just once the editor is done with the previous video, then he will get to work on this new one. So hopefully I'll get them both online. Yeah. So
episode 3 of the podcast, 2 more YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Have you been repurposing those at all?
Actually, no. That's something that I need to get better at.
Actually, that might be a good segue, because we're going to talk about leads, right? That's really what it can help with, right?
So what do you do? What do you recommend doing with the video videos, like extracting the shorts with one of those apps?
Yeah, so I recommend, and they've made it super easy. I'm going to put both of these in the show notes, Vidyo and Opus Pro. Basically what you can do, and they both have free accounts, so you can try them out, right? Chris records long form video, or Chris records podcast episode. You go into the app, you copy paste the YouTube link, you give it like 5-10 minutes, and it generates like 10 to 20 clips from like 30 to 60 seconds, right? I think you can set settings or whatever. But it generates...
for those?
Well, they have a free plan. So that's what I'm saying.
The free plans.
So like Vidyo, for example, you get up to 75 minutes a month. So you can upload YouTube videos up to 75 minutes, right? Okay. So for example, I uploaded one of my videos was 38 minutes. So now I only have another 27 minutes, right? Whatever it is. And then it resets every month. I don't remember about Opus, but they also have a free plan. So let's say you have a your YouTube videos are shorter, which is good. So let's say you have like a 15-minute YouTube video. You just copy paste the link, click generate, and it'll generate like 5 to 10 clips. You can review them, you can edit them. It generates captions, it generates a title that you can edit. And then you just have to download them and post them wherever you want. A pretty good task, I would say, for a VA, in my opinion, as well. You would just have to kind of train them. The biggest thing is picking out of those clips, right? Because some of them they pick are crap, right? You could also just train your VA. This would cost a little bit more, but if you're paying like $5-10 an hour, you could say, hey, VA, watch this video, pick out the top 8 clips that you like, and cut them out and add a title and add captions and make a clip in portrait mode, right? Not landscape. But these apps will save them a ton of time. So.
Yeah. I could just basically give my VA access, or actually no, they can sign up for free for the app and just paste the YouTube link in, right?
Yes. And then the only thing they need access to, if they don't have it already, is any of the social media accounts that you want to post to, if you want them to post the videos.
Yeah.
You could also use something like Buffer, right? So, because for example, you might want to post the videos on multiple platforms. YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, just as an example. Instead of giving them access to all three and then having them to post 3 times, you could use a tool like Buffer, or repurpose.io is another one I've heard of, where you can post to multiple in one place. I'll put those in the show notes. Buffer, repurpose.
Yeah, I used Opus once for one video, but never really I posted a short. But it's like a habit, right? It needs to become something that you do automatically.
You got to make a system.
You post.
That's what I've learned with so many things. If you don't build a system, and more importantly, schedule and delegate it, you're just going to do it for a month, and then it's going to stop, right? You're going to get busy with something else takes priority, right? So it's got to be a system, and someone has to be in charge of each step.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so we can move to the next segment.
What do we got?
Next segment is all about leads. So I proposed this to Josh yesterday, which was
very romantic.
I started reading Alex Hormozzi's, which is a kind of a big influencer, entrepreneur guy. He just released this super valuable, value-packed book called $100 Million Leads. And it's basically his entire system for getting leads, which, if you're not familiar with leads, a lead is basically anyone you can communicate to and spread the word about whatever you do. And I basically suggested to Josh, why don't we go through the book together, because it's packed full of homework and tasks and action steps. Why don't we go through the book together, chapter by chapter or milestone by milestone, and actually implement that stuff and turn it into a case study, right? So maybe we can use it for this channel or for our own content, and in general the main goal is just to use it to learn how to get leads and get more of them. So yeah, I actually started through the book. I went through the first few chapters. I already have a couple of action steps. My only doubt at this point was, even before getting deeper and deeper with this one, was because there's another one of his books which is all about optimizing the offer, right? So I have my main offers, the core offer obviously is the custom copywriting project for me. So working with clients 2-3 months on a website redesign copy project. But I also have productized services and the coaching consulting things. So my question was, should I work a bit more on optimizing those offers even before working on generating leads? Or should I just focus on getting people in? And the reason for this doubt question it's basically that for the copywriting project, custom copywriting project, yeah, it's validated, right? It's something that works. I sold it in the past 2 years. For the productized services, I haven't really actually sold a lot of those. I'm working on with a coaching client now. I sold a couple of audits and user testing, but not that many. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether I should work a bit more on optimizing those, or out of all of those create one additional introductory offer, or what. So that's my main doubt and question.
Yeah, I would ask how much time have you spent improving and optimizing? I'm just pulling up your website. How much time have you spent optimizing those already? Because we don't want you to plan until your death, right? There comes a point you want your offers to be good enough, but then there comes a point where not only do you want to get leads for obvious reasons, but you want to get leads to test.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because how do I know
what page?
If you have to go on Get Started at the top, and you'll see everything.
User journey test, copy and UX audit, and then strategy and copy.
And there's also the coaching consulting thing.
Where's that?
In the middle of the page.
Oh, I think it's too much, man. I think there's a lot going on this page. I would
cut down the productized services to 2. They were 3 before.
I have 2 thoughts. Number one is, I saw this video earlier this week of a guy who's making like $80K a month with productized design services. So the way it works is, he has one product,
I know him.
The monthly fee, and you can just send him however many projects you need, and he does one at a time. That popped into my head because that's like super simple, right? Where you could say like, hey, I'm Chris, here's how I work. I charge $3,000 a month. You can subscribe for as long as you want. As long as you're subscribed, you upload your requests here, and I do them in order. And here are the rules. Here's how it works, blah, blah, blah. And so maybe you have that, and then you have like one other spot project, right? Where it's like, hey, you can either do the monthly thing, or if you just need me one-off, here's how I work. Or like here's one or 2 products, or here's my hourly rate, or whatever. But you try to push everybody to the other one. That's one idea that popped into my head. Second is, I find this page very confusing. You have 2 products at the top, which look like they're your cheapest. And then I scroll into the middle, and it almost, I don't know. Now you're taking me to a new page, and then you scroll down to the bottom, and it sounds like that's what most people want anyways. The strategy and the copy. Is that what you're doing most of?
Yeah.
And that's at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe because I considered the coaching 101 thing kind of the secondary one, so probably I should either move it and have it just as a standalone page, or put it at the bottom just as after the testimonials, just to show kind of, hey, if any of these don't work for you, then we can work 101.
I would maybe take a week and rethink how you want to work with clients, especially based on how the last 6 to 12 months have gone, right? Because now you've been doing this for a little while, right? What do most clients want? What's the type of work and project scope that you like to do? And just build 3 products around that, right? Maybe you have one thing that's like I don't know. Do you need the coaching? Is the coaching good? Is the coaching not good?
That's something that I want to do more of, because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm only been doing it with a couple of people, and that's it.
And then what about the other 2 at the top?
Those I did a couple at the beginning when I started, but I've never promoted them, so I don't even know like if do business like those. All the people that land on my website is mostly referrals, and they basically already come to the website with the idea of wanting to do a custom project. So
I would have 3. Here's what I would do if I were you. And again, think about it, and you know your business best. I would have 3 products. Number 1 is the consulting. And only do it in a package, right? Only offer your $1,400 package. Number 2 is a custom project, right? Hey, I can, we can scope it out starting at, like you said, $3,000-4,000. Third option is hiring Chris on a retainer. $3,000 a month. Here's what you get. Bing, bang, boom, right? Whatever the numbers are. I don't know. You figure them out. You know this better than I. And copy that guy's system. Because that would be the dream, right? You get 5-10 clients on a retainer. You don't even have to go do sales, right? You're just, assuming that your clients aren't churning too often. But yeah, I would probably spend the next 2 weeks And like, obviously you're good with UX and copy, right? So like the design is nice, the text is good, but there's just all over the place in terms of...
Yeah, it's the offer. So as I mentioned, I should probably work a bit on the offer before working on the lead generation.
That's what I would say.
My main doubt.
So let's put rethink/redesign offers. And then, yeah. I don't think you're far off, right? I think if you looked at each one of these individually, like, yeah, they're good offers. But there's so much going on these 2 pages, right?
Yeah.
So, and your most expensive and popular one's at the bottom. I would probably have that at the top, right? So, but yeah, I would try to keep it super simple.
If challenge is because I thought of the audit as kind of the introductory offer, right? Kind of the cheaper one. But if I would do like you suggested, basically the cheapest one would be the 101, which is not super cheap, right? So
yeah, but like
I want to create something easier to like an entry point, kind of like an audit, or maybe I could actually, it's probably something else that I could do. Use the audit as lead generation, so I would work on that after, and do it for free to get people in, and then sell them on the other stuff, like you mentioned. That's an alternative.
But you do a full audit for $300? Isn't that kind of cheap?
Yeah, it's like a 20-minute audit. So I just go on the website, look at the website, suggest.
Oh, 20 minutes. Okay. But has anyone bought it?
Yeah. At the beginning, I had a couple who bought it.
And did they convert?
What do you mean?
Did they buy additional services after?
No. That's the problem.
So that's the thing, right? Like, is it even accomplishing what you're looking to accomplish, right? Probably not. I think you're better off just pushing the full services and offering, like you already have the 15-minute chat, right? So I think you're better off doing 15-minute free chats with clients that are serious about a 4 to 5 figure project than selling these $300 audits.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
It creates more admin work, and it seems like it's not really the leads that you want. So
also because one of the things that I started learning with the lead book, it's that the lead magnet that he basically recommends building, a lead magnet could also be an audit, like a service that you offer for free, right? So I basically turned that product into my lead magnet.
yeah, but if a bunch of people that aren't who you're looking for take you up on it, might take a lot of time, right? What if 5-10 people get it?
Obviously it needs to target the right people, so you need to speak to the problems that the right targets have. So maybe this one is not tailored, or it's not attracting the right people. It's not like, obviously I need to refine the lead magnet and make it more specific, more targeted and everything. So
yeah, I would spend some time, now that you've worked with a bunch of clients, reverse engineer, right? Who are the types of people and companies I've been working with that were big products, big projects? I keep saying products. What was the problem when they came to me? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I would reverse engineer some of that stuff. I would think about having a retainer option, because that's just a great way to run any business, right? Recurring revenue, keep people stuck with you in a good way. And then, yeah, for the coaching, again, I would probably just offer free 15-minute chat, and then they either buy the 3-month or they're out, right? Like, again, to do the $150 one-off call, I don't know, right? The reason I don't love low price point items is because it also just creates a lot of admin work, right? It's extra bookkeeping, it's switching costs, it's emailing back and forth to figure out this and figure out that, you know what I mean? So I'd much rather have fewer higher paying projects than vice versa, personally. So
yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so I could say, yeah, you have it down, right? So the other goal is basically to refine the offer there.
mm-hmm.
I'll probably smash through the $100 million offer book next week.
Yeah, maybe do that
And
first,
use it.
and then we can save leads for a couple weeks from now, because it'll be good for me too, right? Because I want to take some time to reorganize and reshuffle. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. All right, we want to spend a quick minute on books.
Yeah, I just finished one book which I would recommend if you struggle with self-control, willpower. This book is called The Willpower Instinct,
The Willpower Instinct.
and it's pretty good. It basically goes through a lot of research, a lot of findings when it comes to willpower and how to use it to resist kinds of temptations, to maximize willpower, to be more self-aware as well. That's a big thing. There's one good quote that I have saved here. It's view every choice you make as a commitment to every future choices. So basically, whenever you have to make a choice, like let's say that today I can either eat a donut or not, I should ask myself, do I want to be the person that always indulges in donuts, like every day, like from now until I'm dead, basically, or not? If the answer is no, then basically I don't have to indulge in that donut right now. Kind of puts you in a future-oriented perspective.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to kind of reframe a simple activity. Cool. I just finished. Hold on, I'll grab it. I just put it on the shelf here. I just finished this tomb of a book for those watching on YouTube. Very good book by Jack Welch, who is the former CEO of GE, General Electric. One of the more like kind of well-known like enterprise kind of CEOs of whatever the 20th century. Very good book. It's long. It took me much longer than normal to read. It's about, I want to say 400 and something pages, but they're also like bigger pages. Yeah, 400 and over, like probably around 450 pages. And as you can see, like it's a physically large book. So it took me a while to read, but I really liked it. He just tells the story. It's like it's the exact type of autobiographies that I like to read, where it's not about number and stats, and he just tells the story of how he started working at GE and worked his way up, and then the battle to become CEO, and then what it was like, and how they started acquiring companies, and how he decided on hiring his replacement. So it's really cool. I will say, if you're a solopreneur and don't plan on building a multiple person business, you'll probably still enjoy the book, but you might not take as much from it, right? There's a lot about team building and how to run an organization, how to be a good leader, stuff like that. So if you're just like, I'm a solopreneur, no staff, no employees, don't ever want any of them, maybe it's not the best read. I still think you would enjoy it, but so anyways.
What's one thing that stood out?
One
quote, one lesson.
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Or in general, the vibe.
I think it really gave me a good perspective on what it's like to be a leader of so many people, right? Because like a lot of the books I've read, entrepreneurs and stuff, a lot of them are successful and build big companies, but he's leading like a company with tens of thousands of people, right? Tons of different
Like
business lines.
Kind of company.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he went into even more detail than like in the Amazon Unbound series, on which Amazon was a biography, not an autobiography, so a little bit different. But he really painted a clear picture of like what it takes to steer the ship. You know what I mean? To like you're really just managing people at that point, right? You're not doing anything. You're not doing sales, you're not doing marketing, right? You're having meetings, you're reviewing stuff with the people who do all that stuff. So it was a big eye opener. in that regard and what it's like to run a huge company.
Is that something that you would like to do at some point, or not?
I don't know. It's a good question, Chris. I think I know your answer. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, especially after reading the book, because, I don't know. I kind of like my simple life, and I kind of like the lack of like drama and BS and bureaucracy that comes with bigger companies, right? Like at certain points, he just had to deal with bureaucracy, right? Now, part of his job as CEO was trying to remove a lot of the bureaucracy, right? But when a company gets to a certain size, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? There's going to be different levels of decision making and blah, blah, blah. So it actually made me think a little bit about that question, which is like, hey, would you ever want to do this? I mean, the other thing is when it's like a publicly traded company, the guy works like an animal, right? Like the job is his life, right? He's flying to business meetings on Sunday. He's missing family this. He's working, 16-hour days, flying overseas, and quick meeting has to be had in Japan, you know what I mean? Which, like, sure, I guess if you like travel, but you're not really traveling to travel, right? You're traveling for business, which I would imagine would be tiring and difficult. Has pros and cons, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a way to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's cool because, like, you still get to experience new countries, meet new people, eat their food, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like I'd rather go to Japan with my family than go on a business trip.
I did the whole work traveling for 10 years at my old job, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Like I can say that I've been to Rio de Janeiro, but I had one Sunday afternoon maybe to visit around, and it was also foggy. We couldn't even see anything. So
I mean, you're pretty much just working or in the hotel, right? Sleeping. Yeah. So anyways. So yeah, that's it for me. I do recommend it. I'll put it in the show notes. What's it called? Jack Straight from the Gut, which I think he lives up to. And I definitely don't regret reading it. I would recommend it. So, and that's it for me.
Speaking of biographies, I have one lined up on Audible, actually. I got a 3-month, $1 a month offer from Audible, so I got a couple of audiobooks. And one is the Steve Madden's autobiography.
Who's that?
Called Steve Madden. It's the big shoe.
The shoe company.
He does shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's called the Cobbler. So it's supposed to be quite a fun read because he was involved in the whole Wolf of Wall Street story thing. He went to jail or something. So I think it's going to be quite fun.
Nice. All right. Any last notes before we head off for the day?
No, all good from me.
Alrighty.
Get to work.
So I will end the stream here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure if you're listening or watching on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out. If you have any thoughts, feedback, comments, throw them in the comments as well. Make sure to check the show notes if you want to follow Chris and I on our respective websites, newsletters, all that kind of stuff. And we will see you in the next episode.
See you.